Vamos a chequear aquí. Ahí estamos.
We're live.
And we are. All right. That's perfect. Hopefully. All right. That is good. All right.
Yes.
Test. Let's check audio.
I can hear myself okay. Sounds good.
All right. Yep. Everything seems to be perfect. Perfect. All right. Here we go.
We're good to go.
So here we go. First, welcome everybody. Welcome, Franco. So nice of you to come along again with us.
Howdy, howdy.
All right. So, first of all, a few maintenance issues. The actual live. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait a second.
What happened?
No, I'm getting messages. So first of all, the streaming software is better now. Now I actually using. I didn't know. Now we are using hardware encoding, so that means that the quality should be much better, and it has been revised, has been tweaking it, so it should be fine this time. We're not going to be finding, issues, or not so many issues, right? On second streaming notice is that someone is going to be knocking on my door very soon, and I'm going to have to go running to get something. So I might be off for maybe a couple of minutes. So I'm going to let you, at the wheel of the streaming for a few, all right? But
Good.
that being said, it's going to be fine. So all right, I need to close this. Quit Teams for a few, right? And right, so that is, the streaming notices. Now that we cover that, we need to go over the announcements, and we're going to start with me because today we had an informative session with the Vancouver Film School about the virtual art production, virtual art department, digital content creation course that we are going to start on the 2nd of June. And today we had a very nice informative session where we talk about everything about, the certifications, the requirements, the curriculum. We went through a little bit of video, and I think everybody was we were at least 22 people, 40
Nice.
signed in, and only 26 started, 22 ended. So I believe it was, good enough, right?
Yeah, it's a good number.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're moving it from one side of Canada to the other side. We have been imparting it in Toronto for all of these, in the entire region. And now we're moving it to Vancouver. And that is going to be really, really fun. It's going to be a different schedule for me, which is going to be fun, Now it's going to be a little bit later in the day. So
All right.
it used to be
How
at 11
late?
o'clock. Now it's going to be at 4 in the evening, something like
okay.
that. So it's not going to be crazy.
Not terrible.
The only thing that I'm going to be having to think about and maybe talk with the students how we're going to make it is the actual office hours, because it's going to be impossible for me to do it on the afternoons as I normally do that. Because it's going to be really, really late for me if I wait for them to be at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, right? When they're off work and stuff like that. So we try to make the actual course really early in the morning so you can actually take your stuff and then you can go work, right? And then the actual office hours were, pretty late in the evening so they can come home from work and actually go through, and revise and do a little bit of laboratory, take a look at their stuff and all that, things. So now it's going to be different. I don't know if it's going to be half an hour earlier or half an hour, after the class. I'm thinking about it, how we're going to be solving that up. And so that is going to be great. It's going to be starting on the 2nd of June. I'm going to be leaving in the comments, all the registration information. If you want to take part of it, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really good. And the price is really good. It's not, I thought that because now it's going to be like a one mumbo jumbo, the full 3 months, right? Contracted in one go. I thought that it was going to be like really, outrageous. And it's not that bad, right?
Okay.
So check it out. I'm going to be posting it on the doobly-doo. And now let's go with the second thing that involves the two of us. And that is Michael Schigol. No, it's not Michael.
No.
I don't know if they're related. So,
No, I don't think. No.
Jesse and Michael, maybe. I don't know.
They're similar name, though.
I know that Michael has Indian heritage, but I don't know if they might be cousin or something. You didn't know that Michael Schigol has?
Maybe.
He is, yeah.
No.
Yep. So what attains the both of us is that we are going to be giving a little bit of a webinar on how it's called, the Virtual Production Dojo. That is the name of it. And the dojo is exactly like the name suggests. It's going to be, it's a place of learning. It's a web page where you can actually register, and you're going to be, advised and mentored. And they have a few actual learning courses that you can actually take. They have a price. They actually contract different instructors, and they create their own, curriculum, and they can sell it through that particular site, and they get a cut. You get, pay for it. So it's really fun. And we're going to be actually given a free webinar that is going to be next week on Tuesday. Was the final thing? No, it was Thursday.
Thursday, the 15th.
The 15th. That is going to be.
Yes.
So we're going to be live doing exactly what we're doing today, but a little bit more, let's call it formal, right? And we're basically going to be talking about animation. And we're going to be splitting. I think the final thing was like 1 hour and 1 hour to start. Maybe later on, we're going to be doing like a little bit more. But my guess is for the first time, we're going to try to do this like for the very initiated, the non-initiated.
All right.
So I'm going to be trying to take it like very Unreal, the Unreal side of it. Like, all right, how does animation work inside Unreal Engine? How it's different, from other DCCs? The things that you should expect and the things that you must take care of knowing before you start working with animations within the engine. And then we're going to have the practical part, right? Because now you have like many, many things, many, many videos into, modifying metahumans, attaching props to characters, attaching helmets to characters, animating, 200 objects with characters, using constraints and all that. So my guess is like anything like that is going to really, going to blow everybody's mind. It's your choosing. Whatever you feel like it's going to be, pretty good and easy, I would say. It's going to be totally, totally fine. All right?
Sounds awesome.
All right. And the next thing is exactly that. I wanted to talk about your new videos. I was catching on the new videos. You have, I just mentioned a few, like you have the animated character with a 200 weapon on it, which is really, really cool. I actually watched that one, and it was really fun. It is great how, you just need to actually animate one hand and the other one can follow around, which is, what you should do, because you don't want to actually animate both because it's going to be like a complete delirium, right?
Yeah, you get the two options there. You can either animate one hand and then the weapon would be attached to that hand, or constrained, I should say, to that hand, and then the other hand is constrained to the weapon itself.
Exactly.
Or you can animate the weapon and constrain both hands to it, and you get the same effect. It comes down to your preference regarding what would you like to animate. Would you like to animate the staff, or would you animate a hand? In the
Exactly.
case of a staff, for example, it might be easier to actually animate the staff itself. But in the case of a sword, you probably want to animate the hand that holds the sword rather than the sword itself. It's preference, and it's according to where your pivot point is in the weapon itself for animation, because you're going to end up animating from the pivot point, unless you do switches and whatnot that you can't change the pivot point. But we're not going to delve into that. But yeah, it was pretty fun, and I actually got one comment that was incredible on that video. Let me read it to you, and it says, "Uploaded 2 days ago," in air quotes, says Bone Can. It's crazy because I've been searching for a method to do this for ages now, but all the tutorials are tailored to games and involve complex blueprint.
Right.
This is exactly what I need, as I am just animating a character holding a gun for a film previs. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I was
Right.
like, oh wow, that's awesome. Like
I,
someone nailed it for them. It's awesome.
I was actually watching it and I was thinking about the same. I was saying, like, yeah, this is like the best way of doing it for cinematics, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, you think of, all right, maybe if this was like a full production, right? Like a short or maybe like a couple of scenes of a film, and you need to do this for a bunch of characters. So what you would say that would be like the easiest, so what would be production-wise best to actually animate one hand? Like, let's think about there's going to be like a couple of animators, involved in this thing. And you need to produce something that, is going to be the easiest for them to actually handle. Would you animate the prop, or will you select like one hand to actually drive the whole animation?
It's really going to depend on what the prop is. Again, if it's something like a staff or a reaper, which is like a two-handed weapon, something big and clunky, I would say I would rather animate the staff itself to see how both hands behave from the pivot point in the center in between them. But if it's something like a pistol, I would animate the hand that holds the pistol, and then the other hand would be on the stock at the bottom, so attached to it. Simple thing.
All right.
If it is an assault rifle, at that point I would still animate the hand that holds the trigger of the assault rifle, because it would be easier for me to aim with the hand that holds it rather than aiming with the hand that holds the gun barrel at the end. So, but yeah, pretty fun stuff.
All right. So I would say that, we're going to be talking with Jesse, and he's going to be there with us. So he's going to be, playing the devil's advocate and ask us the hard questions, right? So that is going to be fun. It's going to be a different experience than what we're, doing here. So it's going to be really good. I will also set that in the W2, with the actual date and everything, right? So you are going to be for Worth, right? And now the next thing, it's something that really blew my mind. I was really unaware of how good this thing was going to be. And now I'm completely off my socks at the result. And that is Oblivion Remastered. That thing,
okay.
It's incredible. So I want to see if I can actually find something that I can show that is not from other people. I would say, here it is, Bethesda. So these, I'm guessing they won't matter. They won't, be mad at us. So this is the official trailer. Let me see if I can put it on, and let me know if you can actually hear it. There we go. So it's going to be full screen this way. No, I think, which way? This way? This other way? Oh my God, I'm at a loss here. I believe this is going to be fine. All right, let's actually take a look. Let's turn on the volume and actually check it out. This thing, I'm really, let me know if the actual volume is like too high.
I can hear it okay. Let's see if it's
Wait a
on
minute.
in-
This is not. No, this is Doom. That was not the one.
That's not Oblivion.
Yeah, this is the one. Right, this thing is crazy. This thing was actually remade in Unreal Engine 5. And
It
I don't know
was.
how much time that actually took, because my guess is that this thing originally was on the Oblivion. I think that is the actual name. The first time that they actually changed the Morrowind, you know, the engine that they used for Morrowind was for Oblivion. And I think, you know, it was like the actual Oblivion engine. And that thing actually carried on a couple of games.
My blessings.
And it was like the seed for everything that comes after it. That was Skyrim and the rest of all the different games that Bethesda actually runs. All right, this is a good time because now the door is ringing and I want to actually watch this and react to this thing a little bit with you. So I'm going to be letting it run
Here we are, 20 years later.
for you, and I'm going to be back in just a few. All right, I'll be right
All right.
back.
You think about
Sounds
the Elder
good.
Scrolls.
Give me just a second. All right.
To us, it goes beyond game franchise.
Yeah, it's the DNA of Bethesda Game Studios.
Obviously, we're working on the 6th chapter here, but what's great about the Elder Scrolls is being able to look back at all of the chapters. Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall, Arena, and each of them try to define role-playing games and open-world games for their generation.
Fans got so connected with the worlds we've made and these stories we're telling, and it's really amazing.
Oblivion was a real defining moment in the series and for how we make games as a studio. I think when it comes to a remaster, we want people to feel the way they did then, but it's still a game of its time. You want to keep those bones in place. You want some of that old charm.
Coming back to Oblivion now with this tremendous visual update is absolutely amazing. It's the world I remember, but better.
There's so much there, both for the Elder Scrolls world and also this evolution of our games, I think is really, really important for people to take a look back at.
Looking back and seeing everything we've accomplished in the past 20 years and working with these people, like, it's really special.
Yeah, there are still quite a few people that I've worked with for that long, and it sort of gave me the warm fuzzies.
Oh my God, it's been 20 years? I think the thing that gets me the most is the music. Like when you hear that music at the main menu, there's just like, there's this like flood of nostalgia.
Oblivion is the beginning of who I am. As an individual, as a game developer, it all starts with it.
I don't even think it took me till release to realize how big this was.
People loved it. Like, they loved it.
Such a key moment in our history of making games and the evolution of how we build these worlds, and having players be able to come back and experience that is really amazing. We had that really special moment of coming out into the world for the first time, what that meant to this game.
Every time we think about Oblivion, it's, what if we could give that moment to everybody again?
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see.
All right, I'm back.
Whether
And
you're reliving these moments or
point
experiencing
the
them for the
camera
first
to
time,
me.
the world of
Fast.
Oblivion Remastered
All right, sorry
immediately looks
about that.
and feels
Oh,
incredible.
that was super
All right.
fast.
there we go.
When we decided to remaster Oblivion, we were really picky
All right,
about
so
finding the right partner.
my
From the
first
very
question
beginning of
was
this
like,
project, we had one we
how
weren't gonna do
difficult
this
was
if we
it to
weren't gonna
actually
be able to do it right.
move all the
Our
gaming,
partners at
code and
Vertex
everything
went above
into
and
Unreal
beyond
Engine?
to bring our
Yeah.
vision to life.
Maybe they both
The
use
care and
like
love
C++,
they poured into the Oblivion
and it was not like impossibly, hard to actually do. But at the same time, because my thinking is that, all right, the base for all the models is going to be in both, their engine, but also in FBX, and all the animations and everything should be there. So maybe if you change a little bit, the details, the textures, because I don't think that they actually remodel much. I think that they got like much better textures, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
But everything looks.
The characters are remodeled.
The characters are metahuman. I actually caught that. Yep. I think I gotta do this. Asthma Gold. Just because I think here, he actually, I don't know if he kills a character or something, and then the character looks without clothes, and
Oh no.
you can see the actual cut of the metahuman UV here
Oh, the
with two
undies.
different textures. I don't know where was it. I was like actually eating up like these full, because he's actually running it with all the dialogues and everything. That's something that was in the original game. It was fully dubbed. That thing was like incredible, like 20 years ago already.
Yeah. Mhm.
So they have the same dubbing. I don't think that they actually messed up with that. But the actual characters lip sync, it's amazing. It's something that really, really, like, look at these things. Even characters that are like are humanoids, right? They actually get these like wonderful, movement. They have a little bit of a teeth issue where they move the teeth like too much. This thing is incredible, incredible. Like I'm actually thinking of buying the game to play it, because I think it's gonna be. I remember I played a long time ago. I didn't enjoy it too much. I was more of a Morrowind guy. I don't know why this one didn't really caught me. And I think from there I didn't even play Skyrim. But this one, Skyrim, I actually tested it, and I think it was because of the clunkiness of the engine that I didn't, fall in love with it. But I want to see how good if it is a little bit more of a smooth motion, a smooth animation, that it used to be, just because it's in Unreal Engine. But this thing is incredible, incredible. It's a must see. Like when he crawls out of the, I think they do that like on purpose. Like when he gets out of the sewers and he's out in the world, like he turns around and he takes a look at the full view outside. This thing is like another world. I remember 20 years ago it being really, really amazing, but now it's stunning. This thing is like, this thing is incredible, dude. Look at this thing.
Yeah. I saw gameplay of it. It's not for me. I feel like even though it's graphically massively changed, it's still clunky.
Is it? But
yes.
Because you feel it that way, or did you actually test it a little bit?
I didn't play the game, but
Right.
I see it, and it's like I still can feel the stiffness, but I think what happens is that it is part of the identity of the game.
It might be, yeah.
It's a 20-plus-year-old game, so it makes sense that it would feel a bit stiff for me today when I'm a gamer that was born when this was still
exactly
created, right, or halfway there.
It's like that.
So it's maybe that's my half millennial brain speaking there.
I mean, there are a couple of things like the actual idle animations of the characters when they are in the inventory, or even when they are walking around. they have these two hands up, which is weird. Like you can actually watch both your hands, in front of you, like on guard or something like that. That thing is like, if they were going to remake a couple of the things here and there, like animations, I see that there are a couple that are a little bit different, a little bit more fluid. They didn't fix that one out. And I think that was like a very, not impressive thing to actually left out. The both hands in front, it looks a little bit, clunky in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that I may even get it to actually play around with it a little bit. I try to find it in the Epic Games Store. It's not there. It seems like it is like an exclusive for Steam. I saw it on Steam. I don't know if actually Obsidian, right? Have like their own launcher or something. Bethesda, that's right.
Yeah. No, yeah, they do have a launcher. It is on.
Yeah, it is on Steam. That was the only thing that I saw, but it's not like. That's why I think it is like some sort of exclusiveness right now, because it is on Steam. But the game of the year actually is on the the Epic Game Store. So the original game, the not the remaster, the original GOTY, it's there, but not the remaster. So that's why I'm thinking like it's some sort of of an exclusive deal with Steam right now.
Maybe.
Either way, I'm gonna get it. I don't care. It's looking fantastic. It's a game that is fully dubbed. Really turns me on in terms of sitting down and actually watching a conversation and hearing it instead of reading the whole thing, which is appalling for me. Like I'm not the best reader from a display. Like I found it really eye straining. But having the full thing out, I think is going to be fantastic to actually run it. Right, so that was that with and the fact that it's in Unreal Engine 5, it really intrigues me into how it looks and how it feels. But yeah, that was that. Now, in Epic other news, we have Epic finally. I don't think that Epic finally beat Apple. I think Apple defeat Apple at some point. Like they were like too careless, right, with the actual because the last thing that we knew about that suit was that like Apple has won. Like, yeah, now you need to actually, permit people and users to actually buy stuff from other places that are not only, the actual Apple market, the App Store, and pay through other means. But they actually put it behind, certain warning walls, text where you would be fearsome of actually going through. And yeah, somehow an actual judge, the same judge that actually ruled kind of in favor of Apple, actually got a little bit mad and actually struck down, all those things that were not, finally prohibited by the same judge in the first ruling. Now there are like, yeah, you guys are not really paying attention to what I said in my ruling, and I feel that is contempt. And now, gloves are off. Now they must provide every vendor in the App Store to get their own payment system. And you cannot actually set any wall in front of it. Like it should be, seamless, right? The fact that, and right there, the first one to actually jump out was Spotify. And Spotify now has the payment options from within Spotify. And what I'm glad is that you would think that, because the big deal here was that Apple was taking 30% of the top of everything that was sold and everything that was paid through an iPhone or any other, iOS device. And that was, a little bit of scheming, right? It was like maybe too much, 30% just, for the privilege of being in the ecosystem. And now it's off. What I'm really glad is that, people didn't say like, well, now that it's 30%, maybe I can increase my prices just a bit because now it's going to be like 25, right? No, everybody's actually respecting the 30% of the prices. So they keep the same prices. But now it's actually good for the consumer because now everything in the Apple ecosystem is 30% cheaper, which is great. And I believe that is going to set a precedent that is going to be dangerous for things like, for example, VR. There are a couple of other closed, people hunting in zoos, as they call it, like closed markets, like the VR market, for both Vive and for both, which one is the Oculus one, right? I don't know how the market is called. But yeah, maybe, there's going to come a time where that thing is going to beat him in, the rear of all the different closed ecosystems where they have like only one way of paying for things and they get, the full extra percent over the top of whatever the vendor says, right? So that is going to be a thing to watch. Team Sweeney jumped right out of the gate and said like, now we're celebrating. And they actually set up something for the game store where there was like a ruling if you made less than $1 million. The thing was before the $1 million mark, everything that you sell on the Epic Game Store was going to be yours. On top of that million, whatever you produce from there on is going to start being 12%, right? That was the deal. Now that thing resets every year. That was a celebration from Team Sweeney. He said, now, if a year passes and you have not produced $1 million, you're not paying anything. So if you pass it and a year passes, it's going to be reset back to zero. And you get, all the time until you make 1 million and then you start paying over again. So that thing is going to be great. That thing is even more appealing, right? For third parties, game creators, app creators, and everybody who might want to be involved with the Epic ecosystem. That is going to be fine. And they actually celebrated in another way. Oh yeah, he said like in less than a year, he is predicting that Fortnite is going to be back on iOS, for good in Apple's iPhones and tablets. And that is going to be also a big victory. My thinking is that even when they lost the actual 30% of everything that is in it, I think that they would pay some other sort of royalties, right? So my guess is that they would, end up producing money for Apple anyway. Not only that, they actually were like really good, partners at some point. I remember they were doing tons of stuff with VR, and Metal, inside Unreal Engine was running great up to a time. So it's really a shame that they actually fell over on that particular issue, which is a big issue, right? But yeah, like Apple actually responded in the harshest way, that they could at the time. But now things seems to be starting to, heal themselves because of a judge ruling. But my guess is also because it's simply, it's going to be the way to go. In the end, business are businesses, and you want to do business, right?
Yep.
Oh, right. So I think that was incredible. That thing happened on Friday, I believe. It was like the bombshell that, fell on Friday, and everybody was like, yeah, look at this thing. It was incredible. At the same time, May the 4th be with you. It actually celebrated on Sunday. And on Sunday, there was talking about the Epic Game Store. They actually set up. This thing is actually a thing to see because every game in the store is like really, really cheap. I want to actually show you. It is incredible. Let me actually jump in so we can actually take a little look here. And here we go. There have like very amazing games from the time where games were amazing. Like, for example, Yeti Outlaw. This thing. Oh, sorry. Fallen Order. I'm
No,
very sorry.
please, no.
It is $6. It's incredible. This thing is a goddie. This thing was Game of the Year the time it was launched. This thing is like a must. If you have not played, for $6, do yourself a favor and actually play this thing. I don't know how these. I know that maybe in Steam there is also some sort of May the 4th celebration, and I don't know how cheap it's gonna be there. But here, this is a very, very good deal. Like $6 for these. Amazing piece of a game. I have never played. This is another one that I'm thinking of actually getting. There is going to be there up to the 8th, and that is Friday, right? So it's going to be like 1 week. And then that's the time that this thing is going to be here. 4 days, right? From Sunday to Friday, I believe. That is going to be the thing. So yeah, time is running, and this thing is incredible. I don't know about this one. I don't know if you played this one, Survivor. Was it good?
I have. It's like the better version of it. It's really, really good.
Oh, really? It's even better than Fallen Order?
It is. It is.
Oh,
yes.
my God.
It's open world, so it's like gigantic compared to Fallen Order, and there's content everywhere. So yeah, it's really good.
All right. And there is also my favorite, Battlefront 2. Not only because of how beautiful it is, the actual single-player story is amazing. It is a full cinematic extravaganza of a father issues story. It is on its own like a best picture that everything else that Disney have released about Star Wars in the later years, in the late years. The actual story of the captain, what is her name? Oh my God, I can't believe it. And there are tons of new characters that are really, really interesting, mixed out with old characters. And there are appearances of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and the Emperor, tons of characters in the thing. And the story is really, really, really good. I would really recommend this one. And the fact that you can get Fallen Order and Battlefront 2 and Squadrons, which I actually try, but I found it a little bit clunky and a little bit like a rail shooter, not really like a space simulator. I was not into it, but the story kind of was really, really good. Oh my God, the cat. Give me just a second. Go away for now. Go. He's gonna try again. This is like his time. Like, it's time to get cuddles. Father. No, you don't jumpy. Don't jumpy on daddy right now. All right. He's gonna do it either way. And I think, this one is still, a big leap, like 20. This thing is really like $90 in real life. This is what this game cost at launch. $90? This thing is crazy. Well, getting at $26 or $27 seems to be like a really good deal. But this is, unbeatable. $6 for this game and $8 for this game. I don't know how the actual servers are for this game anymore, but just for the single player, it's really worth it.
Battlefront 2 PvP is dead.
It's completely dead. I think it's gonna be dead real soon. Like they're gonna be closing the thing. But yeah, again, just for the actual single player, it's really really good. And they also at some point added like a DLC, and it was for free, and it actually extended the initial story and did like a second ending to the thing. It was incredible. I actually played the whole thing through again to actually get to that point because I didn't remember how things were, how the story went. I played again and I thought that it was incredible, and I played the rest of the story and it was amazing. So I would really, really recommend this one. This one, don't get it. This one, just not. Still, even at $28 is not a deal. This thing needs to go down like to these, levels to actually get it. Maybe when it's completely fixed, it's gonna be fine, I believe. But yeah,
In theory, it's fine right now. They did a lot of work on it, but the problem with games like that, and I believe that's Ubisoft with Outlaws,
right. Yeah, I believe so.
is that they launch it when it's not finished, and
Oh yeah.
and then they fix it later on, which is you can't ask for people for $70 and not have your game fixed,
Oh yeah.
and then say, oh, all right, now we fixed it a month after the fact. It has good ratings in there, but it got destroyed in
Yeah.
actuality.
People actually, thought that the game art was like really, really good. And the fact that it was like kind of this open world where you could, visit these many places from a different perspective of the actual, moving pictures was going to be fun. But if it was buggy and sometimes even, very crashy, it was not worth it. I thought that it was not going to be like a good experience of actually running at that point. And, having things that I have not visited, like, for example, Fallen Order, I would prefer to go through this one 100 times more than running Outlast right now. On other news, everything. This one, the Skywalker's Saga, was for free for a couple of months, like for a couple of days, a few months ago. So this one I actually got, I think. And no, really, I think I got it. That's weird. It was for free for a couple of weeks, I remember. So yeah, that's that on the actual Epic Games Store. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was Fortnite. And let me actually launch it. Fortnite is been running for the past few days an actual, full Star Wars map modification, where it is actually the same gameplay, just a few places at it, right? But for the most part, it's like almost the same.
You get ship battles.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great modification, but it is not like a full season for it. I think that this thing is gonna be done like soon, and they're gonna be moving on to next stuff. But the cool thing about this is that how it is called, the new Disney Star Wars series, animated series. We're gonna check it out like right now.
Tales of the Underworld.
Yeah, exactly that one. I don't know if they're actually reserve the. How do you call the first time that you run something? The
premiere?
The premiere of it. You can actually watch it inside here. Let me actually show you that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Destiny 2, which is a game I have dear on my heart.
Right.
Today announced the next year of DLCs.
Right.
And it turns out that when they announced the second one, which is called it's called Destiny 2 Renegades. When I see the name Renegades and then I see the typography they were using for it, I was like, that's Star Wars.
Oh, really?
And 1 hour after the fact, when they announced what Renegades is, it's actually quite literally a crossover with Star Wars, with Lucasfilms.
Oh.
And it's an entire DLC with an entire new section of the game with Star Wars in mind. I like actual Destiny 2 Guardians, which is the name of the player character that you are, wielding lightsabers. I was
really?
mind blown.
Oh my God, that seems like a fun thing. And
it's not a cosmetic, because Destiny did that before with cosmetics, actually.
Right.
It was not long ago. It's actually weapons that you can use, and you will be riding on the ships, and you
we'll
will
stay
be
there.
riding on speeders. It's insane.
And we'll stay there for here on forever, right?
It's a DLC. It sticks. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an event.
That is
I couldn't
crazy.
believe that.
That
I
is really
couldn't believe
crazy.
Yeah.
I love when different games do this kind of things. Like Fortnite like does it like every couple of months, right? Like it's like their thing.
Though.
But you know, I didn't know, but all these gacha kind of games like actually have like one character, you know, release a couple of you know times a year where they are from another, you know, different games or from a movie or something like that. Like I remember, you know, actually Genshin Impact have what is the name of the Horizon girl, the Horizon Zero stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah,
they
actually had it. They actually implemented her as a character inside Genshin Impact.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones always, you know, do things like this. But this is like completely different. You actually sit down with other people and watch 4 episodes, the first 4 episodes
Nice.
of Tales of Underworld inside Fortnite, which is weird to say the least. And again, I don't know if this is actually the actual premiere of the first 4. And you can actually watch it without having Disney Plus or anything like that. It is just by you actually owning, and not owning because it's for free, really, Fortnite. So yeah, I have not run through it. Plan of doing it maybe tomorrow. So I can actually watch the first 4 episodes of this thing and see how good is it.
There's another thing that happened today.
All right.
And it currently has 37 million views in 10 hours.
Oh my
and that
God.
is the trailer, number 2 trailer for GTA 6.
Oh my God, did you watch that thing? I don't know.
Did, and I could not believe the graphics that thing has.
You know,
I want to see how that runs on a computer because it looked insane.
Oh yeah. Grand Theft Auto 6.
It was too much.
And
So
this is it.
we'll
This is
have to
the
wait and
trailer
see.
2. So I think that it can be split out into 2. Like you have like this cinematic part that looks incredible. Like incredible, the actual details and stuff. Sometimes if you glance at it, you think that is like
it's real life.
it's real life. But then from the half forth, it is actual gameplay, and it looks a little bit less impressive. It's still, you know, very, very impressive. But my doubt, like I actually press F for doubt when I saw these. Like this one was the first one. I know that everything here kind of could work, but these, if you can get NPCs, like do something like this, like a full raid with, you know, a couple of, you know, patrols and people being, you know, asked, you know, and interrogated and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the actual look of a game, this is going to be incredible. Like they have always, you know, stepped up the game of NPC and AI in games. But if these, you know, is how the streets are going to be looking, this is going to be incredible, dude.
Did you see the release date though?
The what?
the release date.
Why that date? Like everybody was saying, like why is May 26th? Why is that?
It's next year. I don't know
Yeah,
about the
of
actual
course.
date, but what I'm saying is it's next year. So there's still another year ahead.
Oh yeah. Almost a
Like
full year. Yep.
we got a new pope before GTA 6. It's insane.
Yeah, like they have all these, and you know what? They actually said that the delay was because of the leak, and I remember that they had like a leak like prior to their first trailer being out. So I don't know if the first trailer was like hurry up because of the actual leak, and then now they have this one that looks completely amazing.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how much of these. This is looking like incredible. Like the dude actually going down the roof. This thing is like a freaking movie. This thing, like the actual sweat on the skin, and yeah, this the cars running on the background and everything. This thing is incredible. Like if this is gonna be the look, it's gonna be amazing.
That character, not the shirtless guy, but the guy with the white shirt, instantly reminded me of you. It's like you if you were like a Mexican drug lord or something.
You know who remind me of? Kino.
Yeah.
Remember Kino? It's
Yeah,
Kino,
yeah.
dude. It's the same guy.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Yeah, the graphics on that scene were just nuts. All right, Gabe, I gotta fly. It's been an hour.
Sure.
I gotta go eat some food. So, are we shipping it, or are you gonna continue on for a little while?
No, that's it. We have like a few other things to actually talk about, but we can actually address that later on next week. I wanted to talk a little bit. I don't know if you missed it, the actual Lex. What's his last name? And Tim Sweeney interview. This is this guy who actually interviews for a living, and he actually interviewed like everybody who is someone. It's like the I don't know. Let me actually get it. I think I'm gonna find it here. So it's the Lex Fridman, Tim Sweeney. Here it is. This is like a almost 4.5 hour interview with Tim Sweeney.
wow.
I actually like eat it up like from start to end. And there are a couple of things like I started seeing people actually creating TikToks about, this is what it's going to be in Unreal Engine 6. It's not. I actually watched the whole thing, to actually find out if that is going to be real. And no, he actually goes through every version of Unreal Engine. We're going to be talking about this for sure next time. I found it really, really interesting. All right. So yeah, for sure, we're going to be talking about this one next time. And
All
of
right,
course,
sounds good.
Unreal Fest, that is coming. It's coming. All right. Well, and with that, let's actually do whoop. Nope. Whoop. Nope. Whoop. Where are we? Oh, here we are. All right, and thank you so much for coming along on this informative live stream. We didn't play from the Unreal Engine, but there is so much happening. I wanted to, give you my impressions of a couple of things that have been happening, and inform you if you haven't, realized already a couple of this stuff. So thank you so much, Franco, for being here as usual.
Pleasure.
And I will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. See you next week. Or, next week. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be good. Bye-bye. And